he's showing up. Bim. There we go.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is the summer edition. You see us with our short sleeve shirts on of the Knicks Freestyle. I'm flying Dolo tonight. You've seen my partner, Free Keith, Fly Dolo. Before we ever get too far and we try to establish protocol, none of that is done without the salutes to our big homie, the number one chief rocker, Uncle Freezy, who keeps this network right and prime for your viewership. And we give flowers. We give flowers while you're still here. We never want you to not be here for your flowers. So that's important for us. Obviously, we've had some minor movement in our organization. You saw once we made these moves the last 2 or 3 years, it was to have this group of guys. So this is our core. Tonight, we're going to talk about, obviously, the Bridges signing and what that means for the flexibility of the organization. And we just going to always, as usual, interact and show some love to the chat. But we thank you for tuning in. And here we are tonight. Let's go.
Let's go.
How you doing, Chief Rocker?
I'm okay. I'm okay, man. Busy doing some stuff like multitasking, but y'all know how it is. So how do you feel about the economics of the Knicks acquisition versus the flexibility to acquire more assets going forward? Are you comfortable in the space that we're in?
So I think it made sense once I saw Mikal Bridges sign for 4 years. 5 years. 4 years, 150. 5 years, 150. Right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it's 4-1. I think it's 4. Yeah, it's 4-1, 30, 40, 50, something.
4-150, 150, 37 a year. For a player of that stature, it lets you know that there was some collusion, but it was the LeBron James type collusion. It lets you know that I don't know how Dante was the odd man out, but it lets you know that the Villanova boys made a decision to take less money in the short term, win a championship, and bleed the Knicks dry when it's time for re-ups, because I don't expect, if they give us a championship, that they're going to want to not get their value. It's clear that the market was bigger than 37 a year for Bridges, for 30-something a year for Brunson. So, outside of OG, who's not part of that pack, getting his bag, and Cat getting his bag from Minnesota, we have a core that's going to be together for a long time. What's going to be key to the championship, though, we see the core can't take us to the championship. We can't expect the core to stay as healthy as they stayed this year. That's not realistic. But now we have room to get those first-round draft pick, 10, 11-year players who went into bad situations, played for bad coaches, never got their potential, had to play second fiddle, and now they're saying, okay, do I go for my best bag, or can I go get some, longevity with the Knicks? And at the top of the list, I have, I don't know, did Russell Westbrook, is he still out there, or did he lock in somewhere?
Yeah, I think he's still free.
Yeah, he's still out there. Ben Simmons is still out there. Names like this that could go somewhere and start will, potentially give us some bench help. And I know you're looking at them like, man, Westbrook at this stage of his career has been a bust. Ben Simmons at this stage of his career getting a bust. But I don't know if you're sitting there thinking about them at 15 minutes a game, and what they bring and their experience. I haven't done all my homework, so I'm remiss. So I look for the chat. Chat, if y'all can throw some more names are those vets that's still out there, first rounders, guys have made over 100 million in the league to this stage of their life. They were perennial or potential all-stars at some point in their career. Now they're just out there trying to find the best situation. That's what's going to be. No, Superman's not walking when you have Jalen Brunson. We have a starting five of Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, OG, Cat. Those Superman, there's no room for Superman to walk through. Everybody's got $100 million deal except for Hart. He's at what, 75 million, and that's probably going to be one of the highest payrolls of any four players in the league. You won't find a higher starting five payroll distributed across the board, and so that shows Leon Rose's creativity. How do we start to fill out that bench? I guess Shamet. Still, decision has to be made on Shamet. I don't expect any trades. I'm ignoring every side bootleg article written about Giannis Antetokounmpo. You don't. This team was not put together. I believe they believe in Cat. I don't believe Cat was traded here to create the flexibility to trade him away. I don't see that. And we all were impressed with how Cat came up last year, his drive into the bucket. We still have some deficiencies on defense, but guess who's healthy now and hopefully healthy through the summer and over the health kick? We saw that we simply rested Mitchell Robinson. When Mitchell Robinson took the court last year, he was so far out of shape. We watched him work himself into shape. And so I believe Mitchell Robinson will probably be our biggest pickup next season. I know y'all want offense from him. I ain't looking for none of that from Mitch. You clearly see we have enough offense. We were a top 5 offensive team last year without Mitch. So to say that you want more offense from Mitch, I think is hard pressed. You need Mitch off the bench. You need 4 solid players off the bench that any night you can rely on them due to injury, due to there will be a reduction of minutes. You cannot think that Tibbs lost his job for anything other than the complaints of the players, and you heard Bridges be the first one to step out with that. And that probably was part of Bridges' negotiation. He probably said, you don't trade 5. Bridges' agent could easily tell him, this team didn't trade 5 picks for you to let you walk in offseason. If anybody thought Bridges was walking in offseason, freeze, let me know. And you traded 5 picks for him when he was at his extension period. Clearly, he was staying a member of this team.
Right. Now, I think you mentioned a few things there. One of the first things I'll touch on, if I may, right, just to be, I guess, to be a baked potato next to the steak, is that the financial flexibility that the Knicks have right now, in a way, helps them extend their options and being really serious about this championship moment. The other thing that you mentioned about Simmons and Westbrook, I think the Knicks are going to get either, right? Whoever Sacramento gets, the Knicks are going to get the other, right? I think that's as basic as we can make it, right? If Sacramento chooses to go with Russell Westbrook, then Ben Simmons is in the bag, right? And vice versa, because the Knicks need that level of athleticism and aggression, because we know the Knicks are somewhat athletic, right? For the most part, we think the young boys, the young fellas that have been drafted are more athletic than the guys that we already have, right? Ben Simmons, Russell Westbrook are older than everybody we have on the roster, and they're probably still more athletic than our main rotation guys, right? And so just by adding a veteran leadership and athleticism and some level of dog, you know what I'm saying? Because when we think about dogs, we think about bull mastiffs and pit bulls and German shepherds, but poodles are dogs too. You know what I'm saying? So you know you can get those level of dog, get a dog at all types of levels, right? And so when you mention that, I think I'm with you. It's the financial flexibility. I think is something that may be understated. I think the option to bring in an athletic veteran ball handler that can push the pace is an option that we probably can't refuse, right? And something something you mentioned, yeah, being in the championship moment is something that I think the front office is locked into.
And forgive me for not mentioning Jordan Clarkson, already leader for six man of the year, because of the pressure that's going to be on him to score off the bench when we were the one of the worst scoring teams, definitely in the playoffs. I mean, in Indiana simply destroyed us with their bench scoring. I mean, and that was no more than did he really win six man of the year? TJ McConnell? Did he really win six man of the year last year? Or he was in the running?
Was it?
Was it okay? But McConnell was in the running. I think.
Yep.
I think he got votes. So to watch TJ McConnell come off the bench and do more than Miles McBride, and Miles McBride is on alert all season this year. He his minutes. You talk about Westbrook or Ben Simmons coming in the house, and Westbrook is getting better with his defense. Less minute. Only way you're gonna, and let's be clear, if Westbrook is the man, the only way you're reducing uh, 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 Westbrook's turnovers is by reducing his minutes. So it's a 15-minute a game role, except when somebody is injured. I Kerry Cox salute to everybody in the chat. Latoria, I definitely want to address your comment as well. But salute to all the good people in the chat. But Kerry Cox is right. Bo Camp is a possibility for us. But to know that we got six solid players, my man from the Sixers, who I watch big body move around, let us know we were definitely going to need Mitch coming in at power forward. I mean, we're everybody that we've signed and we held over. I mean, I see 9 guys clearly getting minutes next year. And Latoria, I agree with you. So now that allows me to segue into your comment, beautiful, is that and I don't mean no sexual disrespect. We don't, I know this is the workplace, but I say beautiful because your avatar is just reeking beauty. But I do think some of it is adjustment, but I think the players' complaints about minutes. I don't know if the players were complaining about adjustments. You just heard right during the end of the season, our biggest free agent is saying, and I'm an Iron Man. So if anybody can complain, talk to the guy that hasn't missed a game in 4 years. That was one of the most brutal seasons I went through. And with, Dolan making sure that he was quiet all year, came down. I think that was bigger, but we're agreeing now. We're Shamit is gone for sure, Kerry. I didn't know that. I didn't know he for sure signed.
Yeah, Shamit is a free agent. The Dolan thing is interesting in that I think they needed a supervisor intervention with Dolan. I don't think he wanted to come down. So I don't think he wanted to. Right. I think he wanted to stay in his cubby. I don't think he wanted to come out and and mix it up. Because for the most part, the vibes are good around the team, and you only get the boss when there's and Ghetto notice, man. We only go get Ghetto when we have a problem that we can't fix, right? We need a higher mind of thinking. Either we need resources that we can't get to because we're not on that level to get those resources, or we just have beef and we need a mediary to stop us from, you know what I'm saying, from damaging ourselves internally. Because the thing is, we know a lot of times the worst enemy is the enemy within, and sometimes you just need the boss to come in and shake some stuff up.
And that was just that's why he's the number one chief rocker, y'all, because that level of vision, that's what I think makes us special as a team. It's actually impacting us too. Sidebar, because all three of us, our careers are taking off. We're far from retirement, and so salute to the visionary of this show, Free Keith, who's just in his crunch season. This is when he makes his money. The winter is when he gets to sit back some. The summertime is when his facility just gets turned over 50 million times for all these events that New Yorkers get to enjoy.
Yep.
And me, I've been in the longest, busiest season for an accountant in the history of busy seasons. I just keep getting these clients and getting these situations. And the chief rocker now, Mocha said, "I love that you make this great money on Knicks Freestyle, and this platform is successful for you, but you got skill sets that pay the bills." So he's been double dipping and continuing to not slow down this content.
AET, baby. AET.
Listen,
Y'all know what time it is, man.
listen.
August through early December. Y'all know what the deal is.
She want to see some of that. She don't mind the 1099 income. She said it's good, but it's nothing like that W-2 check every 2 weeks.
Yeah. No up and downs, no variances. What?
So it's consistency, like water. So for us to be here August 6th and still putting on for you guys, it's we want you to know it's a sacrifice. It's our love to you and your love to us that keeps us going, that makes our nation, Knicks Nation. I mean, I am an avid sports fan. My New York Mets, I just don't know what's going on right now. There's 4 teams in the NL playing their best baseball, and New York Mets are deciding to play their worst baseball the last 3 weeks. But we got our love there, but there's nothing like this Knicks Nation on August 6th. We're talking to you with the passion like it's November 6th, and that's 3 months away. And
how about them Giants?
And how about them Jets? We're gonna try to get them Knicks on the court as soon as possible, so you football fans will have something positive to shift to.
What are you looking forward to seeing?
I'm looking forward to seeing in the first 2 months of the year, Knicks showing a desire that we are a championship team, that we don't get knocked around in the regular season by the better teams like we got knocked around last year. I want the fans to not do this hyperbole, talk up, look at our starting 5. I want them to say, what are you going to do when our 6th and 7th guy come off the bench? When we put our 6th man of the year, I want us to be talking about our flexibility, which is why I got to go back to Latoria B and say to Shorty, again, no Shorty, we New York, we talk slick. And to say to Shorty that you're right, these adjustments that we're able to make is what makes us a different team in 4 months. That this quiet, while it's a quiet off season, and it's a quiet off season all around the NBA. And this is what the new CBA. Let's talk some business of basketball. This is what the new CBA was about: the bird rights and all that stuff. The owners won. And I don't know what the players are going to do in the future to get that flexibility, but the owners won. You just can't move around and restructure your team. You're going to have some down years. Now, it's scary because Boston, with the injury, is going to, and Milwaukee, they're going to be able to have, and who else had a major injury? I think it was on the West Coast. But some of these teams with major injuries now to their top players. I'm sorry, Indiana and Indiana, Milwaukee, and Boston
Boston.
having these off years, going to get a chance to see how they add some young players. The Knicks won't be adding any young players for the next 3 years. Y'all can forget that. We won't be players next year's draft, even if we have draft picks, and I think we get next year's draft pick back. We're just not going to be players in the draft for quite a long time.
Okay.
To watch what Boston does in the draft next year. So we they might get lucky and get that player that puts them back over the hump with a healthy Halliburton, with a healthy Tatum. So this year, I don't want to start to say this year definitely starts our window. Our 3-year window opens this year. A lot of people felt that it should have opened last year. If you listen to Knicks Freestyle, we tried to, outside of the creator, Free Keith, who thinks every year is a championship year, but he's not here tonight. Me or Freezy were always trying to temper your expectations last year. You need time to gel. You need time to get to know each other. While we had a great playoff run and it was enjoyable, especially to beat Boston, Indiana fully exposed us. And you never want to leave the playoffs fully exposed. And we were fully exposed.
Yeah.
So I think we addressed those. This was a great offseason. But, back to just looking like a championship team the first 2 months of the year and growing from there is what I'm most looking forward to. What I'm not looking forward to, quite frankly, is the pressure that Mike Brown is going to be under.
Okay.
He's just going to be compared to Tibbs, every week of the year next year,
Right.
and he won't be able to avoid that. And that's going to be unfortunate for him. Now, maybe he kills it, but has flaws as a coach too. We didn't get Phil Jackson. We're not getting Phil Jackson in his prime. We're not getting Pat Riley in his prime. We're not getting Brad Stevens in his prime. We're not getting Steve Kerr in his prime. We're not getting any of these guys in their prime. We recycled. And we knew we were going to recycle. So, we'll see, where we go. Kerry Cox, Josh, I think the five next year is going to be the starting five. Last year's starting five is going to be this year's starting five. I don't see Josh Hart coming off the bench, but your comment really caught my attention. But yeah, our second unit, Kerry Cox, that's exactly what I'm looking forward to, because that's why we didn't go far this year. And again, I'm going to keep saying it. We always have the one player we pick on, whether it's Frank Ntilikina, whether it's Knox, whether it's who we've been looking at the last couple of years, whether it's Alec Burks, whether it's next year is McBride's year. Every game, every week you see us, we're going to be talking about where did McBride peak, and can he get back to, coming off the bench and really creating that spark. Obi Toppin, thanks, Kerry. Kerry Cox is cooking tonight. Obi Toppin, guys.
Quentin Grimes, ham sandwiches.
Quentin Grimes. McBride is just going to be a player that other franchises would be like, man, why are they talking about McBride all the time? That's because they don't understand the mind of a Knicks fan. McBride we're at a point where, what do we do with him? And, I got to get a feeling, is his rookie contract up next year? It would have to
No,
be.
no, he's actually in the middle of his second contract.
Oh, that's right. They gave him that second contract. He got
Yeah.
that second deal. And it was kind of like a Mitchell Robinson deal.
Yeah.
Sweet to the team, but it makes you trade bait.
Yeah.
Mitch Robinson, the health of Mitch Robinson is going to be a discussion. But let's be clear. If Mitch does get hurt, don't start talking about that trade Mitch talk. Nobody's taking our damaged goods off our hands. So we're going in with Mitch. Stick to Mitch. McBride will be, someone who will be looked at as trade bait come to the deadline. Maybe some of our bigger bodies. Depending on how many minutes we can get with Hawk Purdy. So McBride and Hawk Purdy, if it starts off slow with us, those will be our two top guys we'll be looking at as trade bait right off the bat. And
that'll make Free Keith smile, because Free Keith want toughness. Free Keith probably somewhere smiling like, man, we got to be tough. Free Keith love Karl Anthony Towns, man.
No, he doesn't. I think Cat grew on him. But it let you know it was the right move, though, the trade, because they weren't. No one was dying to give. No one was dying to give our good buddy Julius Randle any money this offseason.
Yeah.
Let Cat
he looked good in the playoffs, though, man. He looked good in the playoffs for Minnesota, bro. He was a monster, bro. He was a monster in the playoffs, bro.
Did his thing.
Yeah.
Did his thing. But nobody was dying to give him no money in this offseason.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he turned the contract down or not, and told him he wanted to get the free agency, but his stock took a hit not being in New York. And it lets you know that our franchise is back to where it is. We really make or break careers, and but yes, I was impressed with how he played, but it didn't lead to more success for his team. And so, we shall see, what happens out in Minnesota, because they will always have a place in our heart. Because once a Knick, always a Knick. It's just, I think it's exciting times. It's not too much. It's probably one of the biggest years since the 90s. And I don't know, how old some of the fans are down there, but every year that we had that team, that 92 to 94 team, we just were like, let's get them back out on the court. Wasn't major moves in the offseason. We weren't drafting. Knicks have been trading away draft picks to win now since forever. This is not a new scenario for us. Because if this doesn't work out, we're back in basketball purgatory again, because you have no assets to upgrade. You're riding some bad Eddie Curry type contracts out. But I don't think we have that now. I don't think Jalen Brunson is going to go down his whole career dying to win. Cat is too talented to not look like a $200 million player when he touched the court. Can OG do better? I don't need better from OG. OG made his money last year. Keep hitting the shots, and you say what you want. While it took Michael to get going, he's still one of the top mid-range shooters in the NBA. And you guys watch it. You see him get to the middle, pull up from 10 to 8 to 12 feet, and he shoots close to 60%. He is in Kevin Durant territory when it comes to that. So, it's the Knicks in Cleveland next year. Now, will Will Orlando be good? Yeah, but Orlando has a lot of injuries last year, so they have to prove that they won't have injuries again next year. And I think Desmond Bain will cause some problems for us. But I really think teams will, by the trade deadline, make moves to try to keep up with the Cavs and the Knicks. I'm just never worried about the Cavs as long as we have a healthy Mitchell Robinson. Healthy
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson is never going to let their tall, lanky four-man, whose name is just escaping me.
Evan Mobley,
Evan is it Evan Mobley? Is it Evan? I'm getting confused with
Jared
the
Allen,
No, Evan
Jared
Mobley.
Allen.
I ain't thinking, and that's what I mean. Healthy Mitch Robinson. I'm not thinking about any of them because down the stretch we're going with our big lineup, and you're in trouble. So now we're gonna have Donovan. We're gonna make Donovan jack shots because he's not gonna just go to the hole, and you're not getting any rebounds. Those boys aren't rebounding over Cat and Mitchell. They're just not. But when Cat's out there and you pull him away from the bucket, then Evan Mobley can get busy on us because after Cat and Mitch, we're not that big a team. But now, with the bigger bodies we're bringing in, I just think we throw big bodies at them and we play bully ball against Cleveland. I'm just not. I just think Cleveland is a tad bit too light in the tail for us if it came down to a 7-game series. Um, so I really do. And look, last year they went out early on their own, so they have some demons to to get rid of. They got some stuff they got to look at. But I'm just excited, man. That again is August 6th. It's not gloom and doom. We're ready for the season to begin. We still got. Listen, to have Jalen Brunson, if I said to you right now, tell me where I am in the salary cap. I have Jalen Brunson. I have um, OG Ananobi, Josh Hart, Cat, um, Michael Bridges, Jordan Clarkson. Tell me where I am when it comes to these aprons. They'll be like, oh, you off all aprons. You're probably paying luxury tax.
Yeah, yeah.
We're below every apron. We're below every apron. And that is just unheard of. We got our mid-level exemptions, I believe, right, Freeze? We got our mid-level
Yeah, there are a couple of them.
and
Yeah, so there are a couple of them, man. But the biannual exception, I think we could use. I think it's available. I'm not for sure how much. And then there is of course, the veteran exception, where the vet minimum is not the vet minimum is not a set number. It's a number set by the number of years of experience that you have, and all that. So a 13-year vet minimum is not the same as a 7-year vet minimum.
right,
So yeah,
right. And again, that's just more the great CBA that the owners put together this time. Players are getting paid, but they're getting paid to stay. That Lucas situation was unique. Outside of some wild trades that the NBA will let go from time to time, even though they
yeah,
wouldn't have let that be for New York City. But
right.
yeah, I, I mean, it's not much to say. It's not much speculation, um, other than will we play some good regular season ball like the Cavs played last year. You
Right.
know, I just want to have a bunch of 6 and 5 game streaks, one loss here, 6 or 5 game streak, one loss here. Maybe I saw someone Kerry Cox. Kerry Cox is cooking today. Couple maybe a tough West Coast road trip here in January and February. Um, but for the most part, man, we should be competitive night in, night out. And I just think that we have some great qualities of the players we have. Cat's got to get smarter. Cat's got to be smarter. Cat's got to be smarter.
Free Keith love Cat, bro. Yo, that love affair with Free Keith and Cat, it kind of makes me feel awkward sometimes.
You guys,
because when you hear somebody talk about another dude like that, I'll be like, it kind of make me feel weird in a way. You know,
you guys just need to know in all these years that we've been together, Uncle Freezy does not stop trolling. We hope by January, Free Keith is in love with Cat. Because Free Keith is just not over the Julius Randle trade. It's been over a year now. I guess it's about a year to the day. And Free Keith isn't over it yet. So we're definitely hoping that Cat.
Wait a minute, that's news to me. Okay. Can you explain that one to me just so I can follow for real, so I don't have no weird outside things that
are impacting your thought process?
Yeah.
Keith loves tough players. He doesn't see Cat as a tough player. And Free Keith is old school like us. It starts on the defensive end. Free Keith don't want to hear that you could get 30 points, but you're 7 feet and you can barely average one block shot a game.
Am I wait a minute. You talking about Alpha Free Keith, pretty boy Free Keith?
Alpha
don't like Cat? Okay. So I thought he was trolling me.
Every Cat said Free Keith got cat pajamas, baby.
Oh wow. I thought he was trolling me, right? See, that's the thing with trolling, bro. We gotta see. That's the thing with trolling when because sometimes trolling will get out of hand. You don't know who is keeping it a stack and who just playing, and you know what I'm saying?
Last summer was so miserable for Free Keith. It was just so miserable, and I don't know if how loyal y'all are to the network, but or to the show. You're definitely loyal to the network, but it was April last year. It was April or not May. It was March or April last year, and we just had one of the most miserable shows ever. We went through 2 weeks of playing top 5 teams, and we had the biggest. We were like 1-7 against teams that are top 3 in their division, and that doesn't feel good, guys. That doesn't feel good in March and April. And Free Keith was just like, Cat is so soft.
He gotta relax, bro. That man gotta relax, bro.
Yeah, he's just like Randall wouldn't have let us go through a phase like that. But I don't know. I mean, seeing the money, I guess they expected that Randall would get offers out there. So let's make this trade. Let's risk Dante DiVincenzo. Sherwin comes right in. Sherwin comes right in. I agree with Keith Catasol. Yeah, once we got Mitch up and running, it just goes to show how valuable Mitch is to this organization because our defense immediately got better like this and immediately got better. And once we started, didn't we start Mitch a couple times down the stretch? Did we start him? Oh, he started coming off that bench very quickly.
Okay.
We started taking out one of our swings and putting in Mitch. The biggest piece too is that while we look at Michael as one of the best defensive stoppers in the league, he came out and said he's never been in a role like that where every night he's on the best scorer. And I haven't watched him that closely. I just thought I overestimated how good OG and Michael would be on the wings, and that didn't come to fruition. And they even then admitted you put me on the top offensive player every night. It was a role I wasn't used to, and I was shocked to hear him say that. I really was. So we shall. What a great avatar, Sherwin. Um, again, we're going to continue to be here all summer. We're going to continue to talk about things. I wanted to get to Miles Turner ended up
In Milwaukee.
in Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee.
So that is not going to move the needle for them without a guard. Their guard play last year was just not good when Dame went out. I mean, they were relying on their guard play is just not there after Dame goes out.
And the worst kept secret ever is the Bucks guard play has been bad since probably they traded Ray Allen. When's the last time you thought about a dangerous Milwaukee Bucks backcourt?
I love Drew. I'm a big Drew Holiday fan.
Right.
Big Drew Holiday fan. And I thought maybe with Drew Holiday was the best they can get because because the thing about Drew is he will get you the ball if you're scoring. If he finds you detrimental, he has no problem looking at you like go away. And he can run Giannis.
That's what I'm saying about even with Drew Holiday there. Who was the other guard that played with Drew Holiday?
Wasn't it
you see what I mean?
Yeah, it was that tough white kid and
Dante DiVincenzo?
No. Was Dante there too?
Dante was there.
I think Dante was there. And there was another tough white kid that could really shoot.
Pat Connaughton. Pat Connaughton. And they also had Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen. Right. So they were scrapping. They were rotating them good and they were playing scrappy. But they did top-notch T. I remind Milwaukee Bucks fans every day the time that y'all stop becoming perennial potential championship caliber teams when you traded Drew. I don't know what you thought trading Drew for Dame Lillard. I don't know what that lets me know that you have been trying to keep Mitchell Robinson. I mean, you've been trying to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo happy for a long time. He's got LeBron.
Can I drop a bombshell?
Let's go.
Can I drop a bombshell? Chat, y'all ready for me to drop a bombshell? Y'all probably ready for me to turn the camera on. I ain't afraid of the camera. I was just doing stuff. I'll turn the camera on. All right. Here's the bombshell that I have for my Knicks fans. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Knicks go after a lottery bust in that Deuce McBride price range. And so I've been saying it, I've been alluding to it for months now. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Knicks look to go after a guy like Scoot Henderson that has not developed in the place where he is, kind of like a Chauncey Billups with the Toronto Raptors. Anybody remember Chauncey Billups with the Celtics or the Toronto Raptors?
So I got a quick Chauncey Billups story. We were on message boards and the New York Times had a back message board and it was only sports writers. Somehow I snuck in there and I was like, we have got to get this Chauncey Billups guy. We've got to get this Chauncey Billups guy. And they kicked me out like, we don't need guys in here who don't know what they're talking about. And they kicked me out. I wish I could find those guys again today because we did not draft Chauncey Billups. We could have, and look what happened with his career. We got him on the back end, and he was still one of the best guards we had in the last 20 years.
Yeah. Hey, so Nick Yak, I didn't say that Deuce is a draft bust because Deuce is a second-round pick. So whatever you get out of a second-round pick is gravy. What I'm saying is Scoot Henderson is a draft bust, right? He hadn't reached his full potential, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, nah, man. Deuce saying that you can't be a draft bust if you get drafted with no expectations. You know, it's like saying Jericho Sims is a draft bust or Rokas Jokibitis is a draft bust. You know what I'm saying? But Scoot Henderson offers you so much upside that you don't know, like legit, we don't even know why Scoot Henderson. Well, we know the developmental league that he went to out of high school. They don't develop guys. That's the reason why Asar Thompson and Amen Thompson are not the best players in their draft class, because they had a year where they didn't do anything. Wemby is probably by far the best player in that draft. Wemby in about 2 years might be the best player in the NBA, right? But the Thompson twins should be further along than they are. And same thing with Scoot. And if you're the Knicks and you can get dynamic, he can't shoot, but neither can Deuce. But he can handle the ball and he can score. He's athletic, like explosive athletic, not smooth athletic, not high school quarterback athletic. Like he's legit like NBA guy athletic. Right. And if I can make it, listen, it don't even have to be Deuce. It could be Tyler Kolek. It could be Tyler Kolek. It could be Tyler Kolek in something. If I can finagle like an elite ball handler, you know what I'm saying, to add to the roster, then whenever you add Ben Simmons or whoever, or Russell Westbrook or whoever, now there are no nights where you're struggling and reaching for ball handling. It's just theory.
And I definitely wanted to address the comment. There'll be no more big men on this team, guys. We're only going to be looking to get minutes, some rest out the wings, and we will always not turn down guard play. Guard play wins you championships. And
bro,
you guys know that.
Yeah, I better believe it.
Yeah, there'll be no more between the big man we got, Yerby, however you pronounce his name.
Gershon Yabusele. Yeah.
Yabusele. Your starting lineup is your minutes guy at 4 and 5 are Cat, Mitch, Yerbasani, and
Huck Porty.
That's it. There's no more minutes, guys.
Yeah, you're not bringing in. No, an NBA team is not going to have a 5 big man rotation, bro. It's not 1977, bro.
There's no more minutes. So I know you guys are saying that's why Ben Simmons will be a great pickup. Somebody who can slide in at 4 and give us offensive versatility, and still stick some of these 4s that just are out there to try to bang.
Right.
So I definitely want Ben Simmons over, and you can slide him at 3 or 4 and give you offensive versatility. But it's just going to be some wings or some guards is where we're going. We saw that our young guy drafted out of Marquette is still needs a year. He won't be getting a lot of minutes this year. That's Tyler Kolek, right? It's not going to happen this year.
Because think about it. If you bring in Tyler Kolek to be the primary ball handler, aren't you legitimately doubling down on and I know this is going to sound crazy, right? Doubling down on a redundancy, right? That is a problem, right? The problem is we can't get the ball up fast enough. Tyler Kolek struggles with ball pressure. Right. So instead of getting a guy that doesn't struggle with ball pressure, we're going to play a guy that doubles down on the issue that we already have. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like it doesn't necessarily work. Like to the point with that Ghetto was saying, and which makes sense in my mind. It makes all the sense in my mind. Like so I'm from New Jersey and we believe in track. I know New York, they believe in basketball. We believe in basketball too. But you want somebody athletic and fast, have your kids be born in New Jersey, right? I'm just saying that now. If it's offensive to some people, I didn't create the gene pool. I'm just from it, right? You know what I'm saying? But when you when you build your track team, you're not that most track coaches are not thinking, how many shot put guys can I get? How many guys I get to throw that doggone discus? Right now, the track coach is, can he or she, can they run fast? And we'll figure out all the other stuff. We'll get points from back end. We'll grab one of the football players to throw that steel ball as far as he can throw it. But track coaches are like, hey man, you want to run? Get me some speed. Right? I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey. I went to Dickinson High. Dickinson High Rams, man, maroon and white. Y'all know the deal. When we got out there on the track with Ferris and Maris and Academic and St. Aloysius and sometimes some other schools from around St. Patrick, sometimes whatever. We run, we fast. That's how you build it. Like, and with the Knicks, I'm not saying that the guys we have are no good. I'm saying they're great. But how many more of them dudes we gonna have? Sooner or later, you're gonna be like, yo, can James Najee play the three? Because you got so many bigs? Nah, man. Nah, we don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to do that, man. Mitch, Huckport, because here's the thing. People been saying, so Ghetto, this is the thing people have been saying to me. They're like, man, you love Mitch Robinson. I'm like, so? But you love Mitch. So what? And then they're like, well, what if he get hurt? Well, we got Huck Porty. Do you believe in Huck Porty? Huck Porty is a hooper. What if Mitch get hurt, man? We ain't gonna pay him. We ain't worried about that. We're talking about basketball on the floor, right? Basketball on the floor. Mitchell Robinson is a diamond on the floor, right? The reason why he don't score and get double doubles is not because he can't dribble or shoot threes, is because he always open and nobody can get him the ball. Right? You when all your guards are 6'1", 6'2", maybe 6'3", they being guarded by somebody 6'7". Mitchell Robinson set the screen, is in wide open, and you expect a 6'2" guard. You expect Jalen Brunson to pass the ball over the top of Aaron Nesmith. It ain't happening. It's not happening. I'll tell you what. I don't know if this school still exists, right? I don't know if this school still exists, but there used to be a school, right? In Newark. I think the school was called, this is the 80s, everybody. Don't judge me. Just listen. Don't judge me. But there was a school in Newark called Weequahic, right? All I know is they used to have the fastest girls on the planet. They used to stay at this annual track meet in Philadelphia. Like, these girls is in 9th grade knowing that they going to Philadelphia 4 times in their high school career. They know they going. So in 8th grade, they the fastest. In 8th grade, they was faster than a lot of schools, juniors and seniors. They know they going. And I don't know what Weequahic did to get them girls. I don't know if they recruited them girls or if the lines would, if they were just blessed, right? I don't know. I went to Dickinson High. We just happened to have all the shooters. Right? It's just how things happen. Like in basketball, we had all the dudes that could shoot three. It just happened. It just happened that way. And so basically what I'm saying is the Knicks are in that fortunate situation where they have a bunch of bigs, all of them talented with different skill sets. All of them will play. They will play together in different combinations, right? But saying adding more of those, nah, man, you got to get guards that can pass. Mitch is always open. Soon as Mitch at 25 feet sets the screen, within his first step out of the screen, he's open. But we can't create the passing angle or pass over the top. Like Magic couldn't beat you off the dribble, but he passed over the top of you. Right? Magic just threw the pass. Magic out here getting guarded by Joe Dumars, right? By Isaiah Thomas, by Terry Porter, by Kevin Johnson. Right, Magic throw the pass all over you. Like, dang, how worthy always open? He always open, bro. Mitch is always open. We just need Mitch to finish. We got to get Mitchell Robinson the ball. Right? These are the things, like when we talk about our guy. I'm sorry, G, I'm sorry, Ghetto, for going on a tangent, man. My apologies. But my thing is, I think we think if Mitch can learn how to shoot the three, he'll be a more efficient scorer. No. How about give him the ball where he can dominate at and then let him do the thing he does naturally? How about that? How about give Mitchell Robinson the ball 5 to 6 feet away from the rim where all he got to do is take a side step or jump through somebody to try to dunk on somebody at the rim, as opposed to thinking Mitchell Robinson need to get a 18-footer. Maybe your guards are too little. Maybe your guards can't make those passes. Right?
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, man.
And Nick Yak, I just want to, I don't want to be hard on Kolek, but because everything you're saying is true. What you're missing, the only thing I think you're missing is, unlike Brunson, you can't force the ball out of Brunson's hands. Brunson doesn't let you pressure him. During summer league, once they started realizing that Kolek was going to lead to a lot of wins, and while he had great moments like you're speaking of, they would keep forcing the ball out of his hands. So he can't turn it over if he's not dominant with the ball. He probably had the ball 25% of the offensive possessions when they expected him to be up around 40%, controlling the ball and controlling the pace of play because they're not putting in a lot of offense. So they would force the ball out of his hands, get it into the other guy's hands, speed them up, because we almost led. While Kolek wasn't a turnover leader, the Knicks as an organization this summer were turnover leaders as a franchise in summer league. So go ahead.
Yeah, and so to your point also, the thing with Kolek is when the ball is forced out of his hands, what does he become? Like when you don't have the ball, can you be a knockdown 3-point shooter? Right? Our answer is yes. The results say no. Like we hadn't seen Tyler Kolek be that guy. And listen, I'm all for supporting the team. Right? I'm all for supporting the team. But when we get in this thing like, Tyler Kolek can be such and such. Nah, he hadn't shown any of that yet. And are we going to wait on him in a season where we could be contending for a championship? Nah. Go get Scoot Henderson, bro. Get this thing over with. Go get a high potential guy, right? Go get a high potential guy that hadn't worked out in a certain place. Trade him go give table scraps for him. Add him to your rotation. Add him to your young core players, right? Develop him the way that he should be developed. And if he doesn't develop, guess what you lost? The table scraps that you were going to throw away anyway. Right? And if he does develop, now you're talking about high IQ purchases.
Yeah, because you're talking about Jalen Brunson running time at guard, Mikal Bridges running some time at guard, and you best believe he's going to get more on ball under Mike Brown. You talk about Miles McBride, Jordan Clarkson. You're going to bring in a vet in either Ben Simmons or Westbrook. I just don't know where you guys see minutes for Kolek. Where are these minutes that you think that we're giving up on them? We're not giving up on them. We're in win now mode. This is the downside to win now mode. If a guy doesn't have it in him and isn't learning from practice to step up, he's never going to see those minutes. They're never going to come.
Right. And the other part to it is we can't have like these double-sided conversations, like on one side of our mouth be like, yo, we need more ball handling, man. We need to get Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons, Malcolm Brogdon, a veteran guard in here. And then at the same time on the roster have two guys that should be doing that already. I don't understand it, bro.
We'd be looking just to stay under the apron just in case. We wouldn't be looking. We'd be looking for, scraps. We'd be going to G League to fill out our roster if Miles McBride and Kolek had what it took. We wouldn't be looking to hell. Look what we did last year. We needed Shamit, and we relied so much on a man with the weird jump shot. I mean, we needed these guys, and why did we need these guys? Because we couldn't rely on Miles McBride. Unfortunately, he had one of his worst seasons as a pro last year, and we just we couldn't get it done. We could not generate enough points off the bench. This year was absolute. This year was about absolutely getting guys off the bench that we can plug and play under a new coach who's going to give them opportunities to plug and play.
Yeah, yeah. I agree, man. Thank y'all everybody for coming through and rocking with us. So we want to eventually get to the goal, man, for Lawrence Tears. And the number may shock you, everybody, but don't be. Man, help us get there. So I wrote a goal on the wall that Lawrence Tears should be at 250,000 subscribers. It just came to me like 250,000 subscribers sounds like a reasonable number. Now I know we can't get there overnight unless there's a glitch in the system, right? But we can work at it. We can grow it. We can continue to get better. We can continue to have audience participation, with thoughts and ideas about the topics and maybe formats and all that stuff so that we can have this be a more entertaining format. And we appreciate y'all for that. Hey, Mr. Ghetto, you got anything to say before we wrap up and get out of here?
Thank y'all for riding with us this summer. Unfortunately, good, bad, or indifferent, our core is locked in. I know we always like to see nice, new, shiny objects, but when you put together a roster that Mr. Rose has put together, this is where we are. It doesn't you don't see a lot of pieces moving. You see a piece here, a piece there, but just be patient because I don't think anyone expected us to be as good as we were this year. I think they expected us to go out early in the playoffs based upon how we suffered off the bench in the regular season, but our guys had another level in the playoffs. So let's be patient. Let's trust in our team. Let's continue to have major Knicks hype. Let's buy some gear. Let's make sure we out there because we see what New York is like when we have a top 5 team in the NBA. And we have one right now, especially due to some unfortunate situations for some other franchises that should be right there screaming like us. We appreciate you much. And we are Knicks Freestyle, and we can't be what we are without your support. Like, subscribe, share, and we're thankful.
Yeah, man. All right, y'all. Peace, everybody.